Undisclosed location Bravo is Los Rudos in the house for the Extreme Retro Review for ECW. March 30th, 1996, ECW presents unreleased footage of the March 30th, 1996 house show. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 3 seconds. For those with the tape trader, because any geek with the WWE Network only would not be able to watch this show until April 2nd.
Oh yeah, and since we're talking about this, let me see. 23 years later, you can just...
23rd anniversary.
You could just literally jump straight to the WWE Network and you'll get a little more footage.
Thoughts and views of the show.
Man, it was good right up until they got to the main event. The main event was way too fucking long. Way too fucking long. But can I say it was good? For it to be, I'm guessing, just like a regular show and shit, it was a decent show, because, I mean, there's, some parts we could have did without, but if it was an okay show, the main event really dragged it out, despite me liking 3 of the 6 participants in the 6-man tag, but, it wasn't terrible.
This is Extreme Retro Review number 186. We got Joey in the ring to start the show. But the godfather of professional wrestling, Damian Kane, cuts him off to announce that ECW finally has a nationwide syndication deal through SportsCenter.
As the crowd tells him to shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
He explains his dealings in ECW by first bringing in the bad crew, but the bad crew sucks.
They do.
So then he went on by bringing back the Little Abbeys, and the Little Abbeys suck.
Yeah, big mistake.
Lady Alexandra has but one look on her face the entire time.
Yep.
It is a look that is devoid of thought and personality.
She is purely there to showcase her titties. And that's it.
Damian Kane rambles on, because since he can't cut it as a manager, he is now going to call himself the Godfather of Extreme by now becoming a wrestler. Joey Styles like, hey man, you gotta get out the ring because it's time for somebody else's match.
Right.
Godfather's all here over here talking about he's not leaving the ring until he beats somebody up. So none other than El Taco Burrito. El Taco has his boyfriend's t-shirt on yet again. He gets beat up. The motherfucking Damian Kane suplexes him from inside.
Yeah.
He does a full rotation and lands splats on his face onto the concrete. And you have now seen the third killing of El Taco Burrito. HW thoughts?
The crowd got quiet. I was like, because the crowd was lightweight heckling Damian Kane up to this point and chanting, "We want Sandman" and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But as soon as El Puerto Rico landed face first on his quesadilla and shit, however you say face in Spanish, as soon as he landed on that motherfucker, I think we all like, said it. So, that shit was crazy. So that was the highlight of that whole little segment for me. Just mainly because it was interesting to see the crowd get off of Damian Kane's back when he killed El Flying Burrito and shit.
So since he has killed Taco, he wants Taco's challenger. So former ECW Triple Crown champion Mikey Whipwreck comes to the ring to have a match with the Godfather of Extreme. It's a basic match. It jumpstarts the heat by Damian Kane. Comeback shine by Mikey. Franking Mikey for the win. I gave it 2 stars. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't really see the point and all that. Like, why have What was, and when I say I didn't see the point, I didn't see what was the point in it for Damian Kane and shit. Because you have him come out, announce he's going to be a wrestler. He kills El Puerto Rico, and then he jobs out to Mikey and shit. So I was kind of harping on that a little bit. Outside of that, the match was, it was alright. Didn't, suck or like that. But I think Damian Kane should have won since they had them have the motherfucking match and shit.
I think they still had to establish a pecking order of where Damian Kane fits in on the card. You know what I'm saying? Having them go over a former Triple Crown winner like Mikey Whipwreck would establish too much. It would be too much of a shove.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have threw Mikey out there in the first place.
That was sarcasm. Alexandra tried to do something to get some heat, so she's not totally worthless. Nice. Moving on. We have a complete squash. Gangsters versus Blue Meanie and Chad Autism.
Yeah, some backstory to that would have been nice to just know how Stone Cold Chad Austin ended up teaming with the Blue Meanie.
Jack has actually talked about this match on a couple of shoot interviews because he was very stiff with Chad Autism. Because in the back, he was talking shit, trying to get some spots in, even though this was a complete squash by the Gangsters. Chad's trying to get some shots in. By this point, Smoky Mountain Wrestling is not a business, but he had already gotten some bookings from those guys, from that promotion. So, him and Jack know each other.
Okay.
New Jack didn't take kindly to the spots that Chad Autism suggested in the back, so he showed his ass where he was in the pecking order by giving him stiff chair shot after stiff chair shot, and this is how they came up with the 187 finishing move.
Oh shit! So that was how it was born.
Yeah, they used to do the rocket launcher, then they did the power slam headbutt combo. You know what I'm saying? But now he wanted to take it up a notch because Chad Autism was talking shit in the back, so he used the chair straight to his face, teabagged him for the pin. I gave it a 5. Your thoughts?
I was just confused by the match in itself. As far as squashes go, it was, said it was a good squash. I had no idea about any of the backstory behind it and shit, so.
I should upload that story to the Extreme Project. Kind of fell off on that shit. But hit up the Extreme Project one day. You'll see some New Jack stories. Maybe he'll talk about Chad Autism and how he beat his ass.
Oh man, I would love to hear that. That sounds awesome.
Chad Autism gets more chair shots to the back because he's a dweeb. Moving on.
And he took them too.
We have the Dudley Boyz, Bubba without Indian Dudley versus Taz. This match told a good story. Bubba couldn't match hold for hold with Taz, so he decided to go high impact, but he ultimately tapped out to the Taz mission.
Yes, indeed.
I gave it a 4 for everything because the post-match saw Big Dick try to get some shine.
Yeah.
Tried to lift Fonzie over his head. Taz clipped him, beat his ass.
Oh, man.
Then he beat up DW Dudley, I think, or he beat up Sign Guy Dudley.
Sign Guy, yeah.
He said it didn't matter if it's 200, 300, or 400 pounds. All of yous is just another victim. Calls out Sabu. Your thoughts of the match?
Oh man, yeah, because Taz plexed Bubba Ray's big ass like it was nothing and shit. I'm like, my thoughts was like, man, they really putting this little motherfucker over. Oh, but I love the part at the beginning of the match with, of course, Fonzie was talking shit to Bubba, and Bubba starts stuttering, and then Taz slapped the taste out of his mouth and shit. I really enjoyed that part, but yeah, they're trying to make Taz look like a little beast and shit, so they're doing a good job.
The Dark Riders make their debut to ECW, comprising of Scud and journeyman extraordinaire Billy Black versus the Eliminators. I said Billy Black has his work boots on in this match, but all I can focus on is them hideous tights and that big ass mullet. The meathead, who is his tag team partner, gets nothing. They don't show much of him because he's green as goose shit. Extended showcase for Perry Saturn. Telegraphed elimination for the win. I gave it 1 star. Saturn then cuts a promo on the Gangsters. New Jack damn near flips over the guardrail trying to get into the ring, and they have a long extended brawl. Your thoughts of the match first.
I had to rewind this match to the start and shit because I had no idea who these guys were and shit. So watching it the first time, I was annoyed because I didn't know that they were the Dark Riders. Then when I watched it again and shit and finally caught Joey saying, because I want to say he literally only said their name one time. So watching that shit again and shit is even pissed me off even more a second time. So I just have a lot of negative energy associated with that match. And for that very reason, I would advise y'all to skip it.
The Gangsters and Eliminators have a brawl all throughout the ECW arena. They separate the two. Give total elimination to Mustafa.
Oh, the worst total elimination that I've ever seen attempted ever in history.
Not to be outdone by the Eliminators setting up New Jack sandwiched between two tables, taped up with athletic tape, and give telegraphed elimination.
All I could thought was the tables protected him from total elimination. Now, unless you factor in his head, falling and hitting the table and shit. But outside of that, it's like there's no impact if he's stuck if taped between two tables and shit.
It did not make any type of sense. It was awful looking, and I laughed uproariously every time I watched it when I backed it up numerous times. So Mustafa's getting carried out by fans and Damage Control. Damage Control then tries to put New Jack on a gurney, but he rolls off and he gets carried to the back. So we have a standby match, the fashion plate of ECW, the Broad Street Bully, Tony the Hitman Stetson, versus perennial jobber and jobber nominee of the year, Joel Hartgood. This match gets immediately cut to a backstage vignette with Raven and the Lunkheads, and then primetime Brian Lee comes in, bangs his head like 2 times on some lockers, talking about, let me get Dreamer. Raven screams in the camera. He says, Dreamer, Sandman, franchise, you're all gonna die or some shit. Raven's writhing in pain because he has gout. It's tremendous because that's some heel shit right there.
So did he really have gout, or that's just some storyline shit?
He had gout.
Okay.
Back joined in progress with Axel Rotten beating up the Broad Street Bully. He gives a Dominator to Joe Hartgood, lands on the bat, 1-foot pin for the win. Negative infinity! Your thoughts?
That's the right motherfucking call. It was a match with 3 people that nobody wanted to see. And then, no disrespect to the fashion plate, the true hitman, Tony Stetson, the Broad Street cyberbully and shit and all that. But, it was, when he was, apparently he's been gone for a while, because when he came out to face Joe Hartgood, I was like, oh shit, Tony Hitman Stetson, I ain't seen him in a while and shit. But he wasn't missed and shit, so. And then Axel Rotten, who cares about him? So, yeah, I concur and am definitely with you on the negative infinity.
The Lunkheads bring Raven out to the ring. The lady boy, Kimono Wanalea, is in a trench coat, revealing underneath to show a stripper outfit. She does a little strip tease for the virgins in the crowd. And then behind the graphic, it shows Raven and the Lunkheads versus Dreamer, Franchise, and Sandman. 6-man Extreme War. They had the music playing in the background. I love this shit. It was awesome. Raven has kimono. He's doing his little sit-down pose in the ring and shit. Kimono's all nestled up under his arm. Lights go out. Inner Sandman plays. Spotlight goes to Hack and Missy. They're on top of the front exit. Music cuts off. Spotlight goes out. And then the Perfect Strangers cover comes on. And it shows Shane Douglas above the side exit doing a homoerotic bodybuilder pose, throwing up the triple threat sign and flexing to about 500 geeks. in the audience. The cover goes out. Spotlight goes off one more time. And Tommy Dreamer and Beulah in slave layup pose are above the back exit of the ECW arena as Man in a Box by Alice in Chains plays.
They introduced them in the completely wrong order. No way Tommy Dreamer should have been last. If anything, it should have been Dreamer first. Have him standing at ringside, actually. So Dreamer would be at ringside, then you cut to dark and shit. Do franchise, you know what I'm saying? And then Sandman last would enter Sandman, and then have him walk down while his shit is playing.
This is a competent 6-man tag match that goes all throughout the arena. As my partner in crime says, it's very long.
God damn, is it long?
It's like 30 minutes. I said the franchise has experience fighting the Lunkheads. He and Mr. Hughes tagged up to take on the Lunkheads in Hostile City Showdown 1994, recounted by us in Extreme Retro Review number 71.
You're welcome.
Want to give a shout out to 1994 Foods and 1994 Hollywood.
You made it impossible for me to bury you just now. Good job.
They get better. Y'all get better.
Yes, y'all do. Good job.
Finally gets into the ring after a long time. Putz is in peril. It's all Lunkheads. Raven with cheap shots. And the Lunkheads do a double boot miscue. Hot tag franchise. He's a house of fire, but he gets cut off. The crowd chants that they want Sandman, but Brian Lee runs down the aisle to beat up on Dreamer. They fight up the aisle. The heat on Shane Douglas is forever. If I should take it back to 94 Foods. Forever. Forever. Sandman comes back. Hot tag to the hack. He cleans house with the Singapore Kane. Tommy Dreamer comes back, and now it's 3-on-3, and they brawl around the arena again.
Yay.
Shane falls off a table on accident. LOL. Stuffed with a steel door. And Joey mentions that Putz never has beaten Raven in their entire ECW tenure. Leg drop on Raven, but he saves Putz's nuts. Belly to belly on Raven, but he doesn't save Hack's nuts and pins Raven for the win. I gave it 3 1/4. Shane gets the double boot by Lunkheads, and so does Putz. Your thoughts?
If that match would have been like 10 minutes, it would have been a good, decent match and shit. Could have had it end the same way. Fucking the belly to belly from Shane to the Lunkhead looked terrible. But you know, a belly to belly for a finisher, just say. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. If you cut it down to 10 minutes, maybe have Shane do a different finisher and shit, would have been a perfectly acceptable storyline 6-man tag match and shit. But alas, it was not. So yeah, fuck that shit.
Overall, easy thumbs up show. It was non-stop action. They were not fucking around with this unreleased tape from RF Video. In a few days, the show that you geeks are going to watch via the WWE Network. April 2nd, 1996. We out. Peace.